Anywho, whether it acts right or not, we are going to continue because the show must go on. Huh? The show must go on, guys. So, welcome into the live, guys. Thank you for coming. There is there is girl named Jane and Dorothy and others. Welcome. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. It's actually Sunday, the last Sunday in the month of February. And for those of you who think those of you who think, hey Howard, what's up? Those of you who think that 2024 is going to wait for you, think again, because 2024 is not waiting. 2024 is actually hurrying, sliding away from us. Before we know it, it will be 2025. Before we know it, it will be 2025. So come on in, guys. Come on in and join us with as I travel on this journey here. Oh, my dear sister Cad is here. Come on here with me, guys, as we travel through this on this journey here. This journey is really not easy, but we have got to do it. Hey, we have got to do it. And believe me, I feel so compelled to continue with this journey because guys, I don't think it's easy to read the Bible. It is not easy to read the Bible. I'm not even talking about understanding because to be honest with you, I am trying to understand it, but I am not overburdening myself with understanding it at this point. I am reading it slowly, trying to understand it, but I am not beating myself up when I don't. Because there are lots of people who claim to know the Bible who would convert and condemn you based on the Bible, but they themselves do not understand the Bible. They themselves get upset when I say the Bible is a Jewish book written from a Jewish perspective that really did not include the rest of the world. And when people get upset, I say, you are one of them who want to convert and condemn, but you have absolutely no clue what is in the Bible. There are people who say, oh, God wrote the Bible. And I say, oh, excuse me, I didn't know that. And they say, yes, God wrote the Bible. When? Which God? Who? Not true. God no write no Bible. Then they come at me and they say, oh, God inspired men to write the Bible. And I say, who? Huh? No, ma'am. No, sir. Uh-uh. Not at all. Read it for yourself and come back and tell me. And tell me if all the discrepancies that's in there were those all inspirations. Also, the fact that most of the people who wrote books that were selected in the compilation of the Bible, most of these people claim to have been prophets being led by God. Okay? But when you read their writings and you compare their writings have so much controversy and so because of all this controversy between all these people who claim to have been prophets, you could not honestly say God inspired all these people to write the Bible, because if you do, then you would also be concluding that God is controversial and contrary, because these prophets don't all say the same thing. And if God was inspiring them all to do their writings, then don't you think? Hey, Matt Six, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. If God was inspiring these people, all of them, to write this Bible as you say, then don't you think they all would be following the same storyline here on Black? Don't you think they would all be saying the same thing? Why would God's inspiration be contrary? I don't think so. Okay? So, with that, we're going to squash that part of the story. My conclusion, based on what I've read, is that during that time, the people were being encouraged to document their experiences. Also, the Jewish culture at that time embraced prophets. If you wanted to be respected, if you wanted to showcase yourself, you had to first declare yourself a prophet. Tell the people you saw God in your dream. God approached you, God appeared to you, and God told you X, Y, and Z, and all of a sudden, like a good neighbor, the whole community would rally behind you and declare you a prophet because you claimed that God spoke to you, that you saw God in your dream. And once they had declared you a prophet, they consulted you for just about everything and anything. Hey Wilson, what's up? They consulted you for everything and anything because they were so determined that they must get an answer for everything from their God, and that only these particular people who had seen their God in their dreams or had claimed that God had approached them or appeared to them, only these people could communicate with God. And so the people expected these people to continue to communicate with their God and bring back word to them. When the children of Israel, the little remnants of them that were left in Israel, after its destruction by Nebuchadnezzar, when they wanted to move, to run away, to go to a place where there was peace and safety and there wasn't any war and no fear of being destroyed again, who did they ask? They went to Jeremiah to ask him, Jeremiah, ask God, what do you think we should do? Should we run down to Egypt? That's how much they respected their prophets. And remember, Jeremiah was the same person with whom they were upset because they said Jeremiah did not preach any love, peace, grace, or prosperity for them. All he preached was death and destruction. But yet still, they chose to go to him, to ask God, what were they supposed to do? Because he had preached death and destruction of them by Nebuchadnezzar, and that in fact happened. And before you all run away and think that it happened because Jeremiah's prophecy was true, let me remind you, it did not happen because Jeremiah's prophecy came true. It happened because Jeremiah conspired with Nebuchadnezzar to destroy Israel. It wasn't because he was this great prophet and he prophesied that Israel was going to be destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar and then boom, it happened. No, he prophesied it because he was plotting it. And so when it happened, he tried to take the glory for it to say, you see, I prophesied it and it happened. But that was not the case. He had conspired with Nebuchadnezzar to destroy his own people. And then when it happened, he took credit for it, and people gave him credit for it. But until you read the Bible, you won't realize that, he was not being an honest person. It was a conspiracy. And he stood to benefit from that conspiracy, and he benefited heartily from it. Because after he conspired with Nebuchadnezzar to destroy Israel, Nebuchadnezzar was so grateful to him that he gave him all kinds of victuals and prizes and presents and land and security and you name it. He really took care of Jeremiah after Jeremiah had helped him to destroy his own people, to destroy Israel. All right. So, with that, we continue with our reading of the Bible. So, if you have your book Bible or your Google Bible, you are welcome to read along with us. Okay? We are on to the book of Haggai. And for those of you who don't know where to find the book of Haggai, if you go to the book of Daniel, you might be able to find the book of Daniel quickly, because you may go to, if you go round from the book of Daniel to the book of Joel and Amos and Nahum and Obadiah, Jonah, and all those books, so those are the minor prophets, you will come to the book of Haggai, because the book of Haggai is very close to the end of the Old Testament. So if you go to the Old Testament, if you go to Malachi or Malachi, however you pronounce it, and you go backwards from there, you should come to the book of Haggai even quicker. Okay? All right. So for those of you who are here, get your book Bible or your Google Bible if you want to follow along with me as we read. Now, sometimes when we are reading, we get stumped. And when I say we get stumped, guys, we do. Because sometimes when we read, when I read, I am as lost can be. I'm like, what in the world are they talking about here? What are they saying here? But many times I have to draw back on reading that I had done before and compare the people who they're talking about and go back. Many times I have to go back and look at, okay, so this person lived during the time of this event, and that is what they are talking about. So it is not easy to just grab the Bible and just read a verse. And I notice that a lot of people, when they try to reference the Bible, it's just a verse. The verse has no context. They don't give you any context. You won't know, hey, Oral, what's up? Or Ora. You don't know who is talking, to whom they are talking, or the circumstances under which they have made the statement that is being referenced. And so you are left lost. I'm oftentimes left lost when people just grab a verse and throw it at me. I like context. So give me the context of what is going on here, why this person made the statement they made, so I can understand and see how that statement applies to the new statement, to the new circumstance, I should say, that you are trying to apply the statement to. Fair enough? All right, Rodney, bless up yourself. Happy Sunday to you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, guys. All right, so we are going to begin reading the book of Haggai. The book of Haggai is very short. It has actually two chapters. Yeah, only two chapters. So let us begin. The book of Haggai says, in the second year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the first day of the month, came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, saying, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, This people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. Then came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie waste? Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Verse 6. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. He clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earns wages to put it into a bag with holes. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain, and bring wood, and build the house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, said the Lord. Now this is Haggai. Hey, Richard Taylor, what's up? This is Haggai saying the Lord has told him this. Okay. Verse 9. He looked for much, and lo, it came to little. And when he brought it home, I did blow upon it. Why? Saith the Lord of hosts, because of mine house that is waste. And ye run every man unto his own house. Therefore, the heaven over you is stayed from dew, and the earth is stayed from her fruit. And I called for a drought upon the land, and upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, and upon that which the ground bringeth forth, and upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all the labor of the land, of the hands. Sandy and Julia, welcome. Welcome into the live. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate y'all. Cad is here as well. I'm not sure why this isn't acting right. I don't know what is happening. But we are going to continue. This doesn't seem like it's working right. All right, but let us continue. Verse 12, for those of you who are just joining, we are onto the book of Haggai in my quest to read the Bible from beginning to end. I'm currently on the book of Haggai. I've chosen to do this, and I am sharing this journey with you all. So you are going to hear me when I'm confused. You all are going to hear me when I get a eureka moment like, aha, now that makes sense. And you all are going to hear me when I got absolutely no clue which direction I'm going. Okay? But with whatever the case is, we are still going to continue to read the Bible and figure out what is going on. Paulette, how are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, my sister. Welcome. Yes, guys. So we are going to read together. We are going to read together and try to understand it together. And if at all you come across any literature that could enhance our understanding of what we have read, then you are more than welcome to suggest it to me, either in the comments or you can contact me offline. And by now, everybody knows how to check my profile and contact me by phone or email. Okay? So let us move right along. Let us continue, my lovely people. We are on to the book of Haggai. For those of you who are just coming, if you go back from the book of Malachi, which is the last book of the Old Testament, and if you go there and then go backwards, you should get to the book of Haggai after Zechariah. All right, let us move on. Haggai chapter 1 and verse 12. Then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Jozadak, the high priest, with all the remnants of the people, obeyed the voice of the Lord their God, and the words of Haggai the prophet, as the Lord their God had sent him. And the people did fear before the Lord. Verse 13. Then spake Haggai the Lord's messenger in the Lord's message unto the people, saying, I am with you, saith the Lord. And the Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, the son of Jozadak, the high priest, and the spirit of all the remnants of the people. And they came and did work in the house of the Lord of hosts, their God. Verse 15. In the 24th day of the 6th month, in the 2nd year of Darius the king. All right, let's see. Now that was Haggai's. That was a portion of Haggai's story. So now we know Haggai lived in the time when there was King Darius. Now remember, for those of you who don't understand why it is important that in the Bible, time and kings and priests are so important for those of us who are reading the Bible. Because that way, when you know which king was ruling at the time of a particular prophet's writings, you will understand the politics that was going on during their time of existence. So what are you doing? And that will help us to better understand the political climate. That will help you to understand the political climate. And so that will help you to figure out, to navigate the social, to navigate their social existence at that point, their political existence, among other things, and why they wrote the way they wrote at that time. Now, when people say the Bible is confusing, there's one part of the Bible, one aspect of it that does confuse us, and that is its organization. Remember, the Bible isn't written in chronological order. In fact, the Bible isn't written, the Bible is compiled. There is a difference. The Bible is compiled from various Jewish writings over many, 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 many years. So when they had decided that they were going to put forth this Bible, they thought, oh, well, the Jewish civilization, the Jewish writings focuses on a God and rule of law and rules for the people. And so we are going to use those writings. But we can't use them all because almost everybody historically in the Jewish community would write their experiences. We can't possibly put everybody's writings in this book. Therefore, we are going to just select some of these writings, put them in a compilation, and call it the Bible. So many were left out. I don't think the people did a very, I'm going to say, I don't think they did a very good job when they selected these books in terms of maintaining the storyline. I think they just collected these books, put them together, and said, whatever sticks, sticks. That's my view. Because it is from reading the Bible that we realize that some of the books are missing. And many of us like to say, oh, it was a deliberate effort to omit some of the books of the Bible so as to confuse us, so as to make us not understand God, etc., etc. That's not true. That's not true. Well, I'm not going to say that's not true. I'm going to say I don't believe so. I believe they just grabbed some books and put them together without deliberate and diligent effort to organize them in any particular way or to present the storyline in any particular fashion. That is my view. Because if they had, they would have seen where, like in the book of Kings, where the kings talk about the missing books, like the book of Nathan, then they would have said, oh, so anybody who reads this compilation is going to wonder, where is the book of Nathan? Let's go get the book of Nathan and put it in there, so as to reduce the confusion. They did not do that. They just collected the stories, put the stories in, and then they say, okay, we got 66 now. That's it. I think that brings forth the storyline enough. So we don't have to put the rest. We're not going to put the rest. So let it be just like that. And I don't think the final person who finally signed off on the Bible had read it from beginning to end. Otherwise, they would have done some modification. And over the years, the Bible has been modified one way or the other, but I don't think it's with any deliberate effort to throw us off. I don't think so. What we got to do, right, Tony, is read it for ourselves and determine whether or not the contents of it applies to us and our modern civilization. Because surely if you tell me that, Trev, you got to follow the Bible tooth and nail, whatever the Bible says, I'm going to ask you where my goats and my cows and my sheep that I must sacrifice every day. I'm going to ask you, where is my altar that I must go to every day? Okay. So, yeah, don't come at me with that one, because people like to tell you have to follow everything that's in the Bible. And I don't, and one thing that kind of throw me off is, how does the civilization of back then, when these people were documenting their experiences, how does that affect my life right now? Y'all can think about it and let me know in the chat. All right. I already have my conclusion. And my granny say, and everything good for eat, good for talk. So don't trust no shadow after dark. All right, blessed. All right. Me said that kind of easy now. But God, it's Eric Mays dies. Really? Really? That all right? No. Who put something in a Eric Mays soup? What's going on? What Kevin Grant, what's up? Eh? Who put something in a Eric Mays soup? Somebody put something in a Eric Mays soup, because but anyway, we are going to continue. with the reading. For those of you just coming, we're onto the book of Haggai. Haggai chapter 2, we are moving on to. All right. I mean, I know why them keep on us. Some comments have been hidden, have been filtered to protect the community's experience or whatever. Anyway, let us continue. Johnny Jackie, what's up? How are you doing? Haggai chapter 2, guys. In the 7th month, in the 21st day of the month, came the word of the Lord by the prophet Haggai, saying, Speak now to Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, and to the residue of the people, saying, Who is left among you that saw this house in her first glory? And how do we see it now? Is it not in your eyes in comparison of it as nothing? Yet now be strong, O Zerubbabel, saith the Lord, and be strong, O Joshua, son of Josedek, the high priest, and be strong, all ye people of the land, said the Lord, and work, for I am with you, saith the Lord of hosts. According to the work that according to the word that I covenanted with you when he came out of Egypt, so my spirit remaineth among you, fear he not. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens, and the earth, and the sea, and the dry land. Tess, what's up? How are you doing? Happy Sunday morning to you. Verse 7, and I will shake all nations, and the desire of the nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts. Verse 9, the glory of the latter house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts. Now, Haggai is talking after the destruction of Jerusalem, after the destruction of the temple. Because when Nebuchadnezzar destroyed Israel, he broke down even the temple. He took all the fine pieces of jewelry and gold and silver and brass and everything that was of value that was in the temple. He took it all and brought it with him down to Babylon. So here in his desperation for his people, Haggai is saying, the Lord says, how many of you were here when the temple was standing? And how many of you are here know that there is nothing? Is there anybody here who was here during that time and are still here now? Well, fear not, because your God is going to replace everything. Everything is going to come back more glorious than it was before. Now, this is Haggai speaking to his people and claiming that this is what his God has said to him. Now, people always ask, how do we know that God really did speak to Haggai? Well, in this case, whether or not God spoke to Haggai, if God spoke to him for real, or if God didn't speak to him, 6 1 half a dozen the other, Haggai, like all the other Jewish people then, had the same desperation for their community to be established. And because of the way they felt about their God, who else do you think they were going to say need to intervene for their community to be reestablished? It had to be their God. So they weren't going to say anybody else's God or anybody else should intervene for them to reestablish their community. So there is not much weight on it to hold anybody to account to say whether or not their God existed in this particular case. Because that's not even the question, whether or not their God existed. Rather, it is them bringing forth their belief and their expectations based on their belief. So they believe in their God and they have an expectation of their God that he must intervene in their current plight and help them to overcome. Fair enough? Okay. So let us continue. We're going to read verse 6 again. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth, and the sea and the dry land, and I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come. And I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than the glory of the former house, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts. In the 24th day of the 9th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, ask now the priest concerning the law, saying, if one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, let's read that again, verse 12 we're on. If one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with his skirt do touch bread, or pottage, or wine, or oil, or any meat, shall it be holy? And the priest answered and said, no. Let's do that again. Let's read from verse 10 again. In the 24th day of the 9th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, ask now the priest concerning the law, saying, hey Silky, what's up? Saying, if one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with his skirt he touch bread, or pottage, or wine, or oil, or any meat, shall it be holy? And the priest answered and said, no. Then Haggai said, if one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean? And the priest answered and said, it shall be unclean. Now, if you all are wondering what in the world they are talking about, now remember that one of the laws that was given to the people by Moses was that if they touched a dead body, that they would be considered unclean. So here they now somebody had to move the dead bodies. Somebody had to touch the dead bodies. But remember, if you touch it, you have also agreed that after you do, you are considered to be unclean amongst your people. So here our guys asking, they're asking the priests if they shall be unclean if they touch a dead body, and also if they carry this meat. I'm not sure why they would have meat in their clothes. Carl, do you have any understanding as to why they would have meat in their clothes, or was this just a figurative speech? I'm not sure. I can't possibly remember everything, but I don't remember there being any tradition, any Jewish tradition in which they were required to have meat in their clothes for any reason. So I'm just going to mark that part here and then try to find some clarification for it. Okay, so let us continue. Hey Rosalind, how you doing? And Douglas, good to see you. All right, so let us read that part again. If one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with his skirt do touch bread, pottage, wine, oil, or any meat, shall he be holy? And the priest answered and said, No. Then Haggai said, If one that is unclean by having touched a dead body, Then Haggai said, If one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean? And the priest answered and said, It shall be unclean. So if you had touched a dead body and you touch any of these, meaning the wine, the pottage, the bread, any of those things, it is considered to be unclean, according to the priest's logic. Okay, let us continue. Verse 14. Then Haggai answered and said, So is this people, and so is this nation before me, said the Lord, and so is every work of their hands, and so is every work of their hands, and that which they offer there is unclean. All right. So, can't say it sounds like it's a figure of speech. Okay. So, so therefore, if this is so that everything they touch, if you have touched a dead body and then you touch pottage or bread or wine or meat or everything, it is considered unclean, then Haggai is also asking, then does that mean everything that these people have offered, all their offering, is also unclean? And that is a valid question. Because remember, the people are expected, the people were expected to make these sacrifices and give these offerings. So Haggai is asking the priest, well, if everything is unclean, then how about their offerings? Are their offerings unclean as well? Let's continue reading and see what the priest says. Verse 15, and now I pray you, consider from this day and upwards, from before a stone was laid upon a stone in the temple of the Lord, since those days were when one came to a heap of 20 measures, they were but 10. When one came to the press fat, for to the press fat to draw out 50 vessels out of the press, there were but 20. I smote you with blasting, and with mildew, and with hail in all the labors of your hands, yet ye turned not to me, said the Lord. Consider now from this day and upwards, from the 24th day of the 9th month, even from the day that the foundation of the Lord's temple was laid. Consider it. Is the seed yet in the barn? Yea, as yet the vine, and the fig tree, and the pomegranate, and the olive tree hath not brought forth. From this day will I bless you. And again the word of the Lord came unto Haggai in the 24th day of the month, saying, Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, and tell him, I will shake the heavens and the earth. And I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heavens. And I will overthrow the chariots, and those that ride in them, and the horses and their riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. Verse 23, and this is actually the last verse of chapter 2, which is the last verse of the book of Haggai. In that day, saith the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, saith the Lord, and will make thee as a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay, here ends the reading of the book of Haggai, chapter 2, and this brings to the end the reading of Haggai, one of the minor prophets who lived in Jerusalem at the time when Darius was king of Syria. Wasn't he the king of Syria, Kad? I believe, if I remember correctly, but so as not to confuse those who don't like to read. Let's see, Darius was king. Hold on, because I don't want to mislead those of you who don't want to read. Okay, as Darius was king of Persia. Was there more than one Dariuses? Card question. Was there more than one King Darius at different periods? I'm going to take a look at that. Guys, if anybody here knows, would you be so kind as to share your knowledge? Yeah, because remember, I don't know, I am tinkering through on this journey, and I'm just doing it out loud. So um please expect to hear my confusions, because that is exactly why I'm doing this, so that you can hear my confusions and my eureka moments. So tell me, God, was there more than one? I don't know why I feel like there was more than one. Oh, God said no. There was only one. Okay. Okay. But if there was only one, how long that the one Darius they live? Him live long, man. No, man. It can't be only one. I'm going to go look that up. I need to look that up to see, because there had to be, it seemed to me like there was more than one King Darius. But I'm going to look it up, guys, and when I find the answer, I will share it. I will share it with you, because I feel like there was one in Syria, and I feel like there. All right, we're gonna stop the feeling. We're gonna stop the feeling. I am going to look it up, and when I find the information, I will be sure to bring it back and share it with you all. Because me just sitting here and thinking is not going to help the situation. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to do some searching. I'm going to have to search the literature some more and see if, and then try to find me the explanation for that little piece of confusion that's going on in my mind right now. Okay. But one thing we know is that during the time of Haggai, when Haggai wrote this little 2 chapter documentation here, it was during the time when Darius was king. And Haggai, being one of the minor prophets, claimed to have spoken to God. But it's clear that Haggai had a very small conversation, uh, a very small, short conversation, I should say, a short conversation with God, because it was condensed in only 2 chapters. What God said to him about the rebuilding of Jerusalem, what his plans are for his people. So that is all we have from Haggai. When we come back tomorrow, watch out, why Zechariah have so many chapters? Zechariah is going to take us a few days, guys. Zechariah is going to take us a few days because it has all of 14 chapters. We're not going to read those in one day. We are going to try to read them in about 2 or 3 days. And I don't know about you all, but I can't wait to get to the New Testament, because people have been telling me that in the New Testament has all these interesting stories. And I can't wait. Hey, Ashik, and I can't wait to get over there. But we are going to do it 1 chapter at a time. As much as I can't wait to get over there, I'm still. Wait, so why Zachariah have so many chapters? After me, no know. Maybe he had more to say. Maybe I was just, I was just asking myself out loud, why Zechariah have so many chapters? Zachariah ain't got no business having so many chapters, huh? Oh my gosh. It's just my thoughts coming out aloud, guys. No hard feelings. Yeah. Because Zechariah is among the minor prophets. So I wasn't expecting him to have so much to say, but I guess his story is going to be quite interesting. That's why he has so much to say. And don't forget, guys, remember, Zechariah also, from what I remember from having grown up in the church, Zechariah did live in the time of Haggai as well. And Zechariah also had experiences with Zerubbabel, and it was also during the time of this Darius the king. So I believe the book of Zechariah is going to continue the story that includes Zerubbabel, the story that Haggai just started to talk about. Okay? So we will pick it up from there tomorrow morning when we start reading the book of Zechariah. We will read Zechariah chapters 1 through, we're going to read 1 through 4, I believe, somewhere around there. We will read tomorrow morning. Okay, God? So, so we will not start the New Testament until around Thursday morning. Yeah, around Thursday morning or so. Or we will just take a break on next Sunday, or so we'll start the New Testament. But that's where we're going to end the reading for this morning, guys. For those of you who came into the live, I want to say thanks to those of you who stopped by, those of you who just showed your face and then went along. I want to say thanks to you all for coming in, for stopping by. Those of you who hit the like button and those of you who commented. Thank you all so, so, so much. That's going to be the end of the reading for today. When we come back tomorrow, we will continue on this journey of reading the Bible from the beginning to the end. All right, guys, that's going to be it from me for right now. Until next time, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey Matters. Tisha, bless up yourself. Good morning. Did I wake you up? Yeah, my loud mouth wake you up early. Good morning, my love. I hope you're having a great morning. Good to see you. That's going to be it, guys. When we come back tomorrow, we will continue on this journey. Until next time, guys, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great morning, everybody.